the live text, the live chat, the live anything you want. Your comments coming up in about 2 minutes. Again, this is a live stream produced by Jesus Manuel Mena Garza on the subject of policing in the Barrio in the wake of the George Floyd murder. Starts at 2:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and of course 4:30 p.m. Pacific. So tune in about 2 minutes. We're going to be having a live stream. Hopefully everything works out. This is only going to be my 4th live stream, and I'm getting better at it slowly but surely. And don't forget to leave your kind and friendly comments, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Again, seriously, I look forward to hearing what you have to say. And, of course, try to be nice and friendly. Friendly folks, again, be nice and friendly to each other. Let's be peaceable, and let's just get this started in about 2 minutes here. Yes, I'm having a beverage. A diet cola drink. Oops, I was humming there, huh? That's not good. This is Jesus Manuel Mena Garza. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. Yes, I am in Fort Worth, Texas. And it's 2:30 p.m., 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 again Central. And what time is it right now in the Pacific? If it's 2:30 here, it's 12:30 there. I get confused. I apologize. So this is a rather loose and hopefully friendly conversation about policing in the barrio. The barrio is a term a lot of people use in the Latino community for their neighborhood, okay? The barrio, the barrio. Some people use a V, barrio. And it's a term that's been used for decades upon decades, okay? So hopefully this is a very friendly conversation. Currently I'm the only one watching this video. Hopefully more people show up eventually on this video. My goal is to have a half hour to an hour of live streaming. So my opinion in regards to policing carries as much weight as yours. That's the key part to understand. My opinion on policing carries as much power as yours, okay? So you have as much to gain from interacting with the powers that be to create whatever policing system that you want in the United States of America. So again, I could go to the city councilman, the mayor, the governor, he probably wouldn't let me walk in the door, but I could say, hey, this is what I believe, this is what I suggest, these are my plans, and I've thought them out quite well. And that man or woman would say, hey, get him out of here. We don't want to listen to him. He's not one of my supporters, and he didn't donate any money to my campaign. Get him out of here. Get that boy out of here. So we're all in the same boat if we're just working class, middle class folks. in the United States. A lot of the commentary today that I'm going to be talking about is my opinion and my opinion alone. If there might be some errors in it, I'm going to try my best to be as factual as possible, but I'm a human being just like anybody else, like you. I do make mistakes once in a great while, just once in a great while, not as often as other people do, hopefully. But that's my ego saying that, okay? So, in my opinion, the police department serves one master, and it is businesses. It serves pretty much the business community to protect them against theft, damage, and stuff like that. The general populace is the second thing they try to protect. Most of them, they try to protect you against, your fellow citizens, be they, angry ex-boy or girlfriends or somebody who doesn't like you and wants to cause you harm, etc., or a beast, a dog that's running wild on the streets. So some folks out there are trying to dismantle, essentially get rid of the police department as it's currently formed. A lot of people are talking about dismantling the police department. And once in a while I'm going to look over here because that's where I can see if anybody's commenting on the stream, okay? So there are some that are asking for the complete obliteration of the police department and starting something new. Essentially, they're suggesting, and there's of course different iterations of this concept, that there be different levels of policing in the community. The first level would be, social work. People that are social workers that are, in the police department that come in there wearing their little polo shirts and they say Fort Worth Police Department, New York Police Department, Minneapolis Police Department, San Francisco, Los Angeles Police Department, Miami, Charlotte, wherever. Des Moines, Iowa Police Department. And they walk into a disturbance matter between husband and wife, a mother and a child, or domestic partners, or just there's a disturbance. Something's going on with the neighbor next door, and they're crazy. Okay, so they're going to be essentially social workers. A lot of the police departments right now are, they're not trained to be social workers. They're not trained to be compassionate and listen. Okay, they get more training using their gun, boom, 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 at the range than they do on social work, from what I understand. This is my opinion. So some folks are saying, let's start off with different layers of police departments, and one of them would be, social workers as the leading edge of the police department. They go out and they go to different homes and say, how are you doing, Mr. Smith? And is everything going great with your family today? Yeah. How's your father doing? He's doing all right. My father is, a little old, and I'm sorry, and I apologize for him walking down the street in his underwear. We're trying to, get him to, he has dementia and other issues, and we're trying to work with him. I understand your commitment, and we understand it. If you have any problems, just call us, and we'll get a social service person to talk to you, or, a medical officer to talk to your father. Okay? Something like that. Okay? Call number 2. That was call number 1. Call number 2. My husband has a gun, and he has it pointed at my neighbor because he didn't want to share the expenditure for the fence between our house, and he promised. And now my husband has his shotgun rifle, and he's marching over there next door. Can you do anything? Of course, that escalates the issue. Then you bring an officer with a gun who's trained to, subdue somebody. Okay, that's a different level. That's a totally different level. And of course, they have some training and social services too. So you get there and the cop says, what are you up to, Mr. Johnson? Or, Mr. Lopez or Mr. Chen. Oh, my neighbor, he didn't want to, I spent all this money on a dang fence and he didn't want to, pay his part. He promised me to give me $500 this week, and he has. I'm going to go over there and shoot his ass. That's, he has a gun. So obviously the social worker ain't going to do much good. So you have to bring somebody who can, confront them with power. Okay. So that's a different level. Okay. That's a totally different level. Okay. Okay. You're going to have a peaceful peaceful. It's already been planned for months upon months upon months. A peaceful demonstration, a women's march, LGBT march, a march for men, Christian men. They're going to be marching down the street, or people that don't like the president. They're going to march down the street. So you have people that march with you. They control it. They make sure they go to every intersection, stop traffic, and say, "Hey, we're going to march. You got a permit. We're going to go down the street, and even if you don't got a permit, we're still going to make sure you don't. We don't go there look like we're about ready to, for the apocalypse, and we're ready to fight the zombie invasion, and have helmets and batons and shotguns and machine guns and assault rifles, and we're padded from head to toe, and we got no, that's not good. Okay, you're gonna have people that are just gonna march with the marchers and say, hey, you have the right to march and you have the right to protest. We're gonna march with you, and we're gonna block off the traffic, and when you go to where you're gonna end up with your march, we're gonna protect you, and we're gonna try to keep those that don't like you and you from them, from creating starting some violence. That may require, from experience, people that actually are armed. Okay, but if it's just a march for St. Patrick's Day parade, typically there's not going to be any violence. If it's a men's march, a Christian march for talking about morals in our society, typically they're not going to cause any problems. Typically, okay. And a lot of marches out there and a lot of demonstrations, and are very peaceable. Then there's those, and I understand this. There's some people always want to mess up the party. Okay, they want to screw over, and they take advantage of these situations, and they cause violence. Okay, I've known this in the 60s, 70s, when I was very active in the Chicano community of San Jose, California, the San Francisco Bay Area. There were always people, and we had to keep an eye out for them when we had our demonstrations to make sure that they didn't cause any problems. We would actually, before we had our march, we'd assign different individuals to be our own police department to watch out for idiots who want to take advantage and cause havoc and damage. We just wanted to march from A to Z and say what we're going to say, speak on the San Jose City, police department or something, steps, or Sacramento at the steps of the governor, and have our speeches and have our rally. Okay, pretty simple stuff. Okay, nothing too complex. It's very peaceable, but there's always somebody out there who wants to take advantage of the situation for their own cause. Sometimes actually they're agitators from the police department or from the right. Okay, they're not always left-wing agitators. I remember going to gatherings, and somebody would, I remember one situation, one person that I knew from the community. He asked me something absolutely, utterly insane. I think this was around 1973. He goes up to me, Jesus, we're hanging out here at the winery in South San Jose, when they used to have wineries in South San Jose before everybody started building houses. I think it was near Gilroy. And he said, Jesus, we're going to bomb some banks. Would you like to join us? And I go, are you nuts? I don't want to bomb a bank. Are you nuts? And then they, yeah, it's going to be awesome. So how would this have played out? If I was a stupid, impressionable idiot, which I wasn't at the time, I thought I was, I had a decent head on my shoulders. Let me take this off. I knew that there are people in the community who would like you to screw up. So they would have me do all this stuff, and they say, hey, it was Jesus. We busted him before he did this. And his group, this Chicano group, this radical Chicano group that he's a part of, are a bunch of crazy, idiots. And we should arrest them all and take away their, cultural center. Yes, I was a member of a bunch of artists and photographers and painters and muralists, and theater performers and musicians in San Jose. It was called El Centro Cultural de la Gente. And of course, we actually had the FBI looking for individuals at our organization. Do you know these people? Yeah, I don't know any of these people. Sometimes we sit in the front and, Border Patrol would be bugging people from our group and saying, "Are you an American citizen?" "Yeah, show them here. I'm an American citizen." So we're not used to being harassed. Let me see what time we got here. We're doing pretty good. We got about 17 minutes left for this half hour. Since nobody's commenting, I'm going to keep this to a half hour. So I appreciate it. I'm going to keep it on my site, my Jesus Manuel Mena Garza, YouTube channel, and share with the community. So hopefully, they can listen to me talk. It's sad that nobody else is commenting at this time, but of course, this is my most modest channel. I wanted to test this conversation out on my most modest channel. I have 4 channels. This channel right here, JMM, Jesus Manuel Mena Garza, my first channel. I started this about 10, 15 years ago, a long, long time ago. And of course, I also have JMM Garza. That has 2,200 or 300 subscribers, and it talks about photography and video. The channel that I'm streaming this to has I think 20, 30, 40, not very many. And it's been around the longest. And then I have another channel, RVTA, RV and Travel Adventures, which talks about my hobbies, RVing and traveling. Who doesn't like to go traveling? Most of us like, unless we're a hermit or a recluse. I'm a bit of a recluse, but I'm not that bad of a recluse. So that's one of my other channels. And then and that's a relatively new channel. It only has about 200, 300 subscribers. And then I have my normal life. I only started that a few weeks ago, and that's where I pretty much post my various commentaries and opinions and diatribes and stuff like that. But I also do lawnmower reviews on that channel. Very strange. So anything that's not RV related, travel related, photography, or video related, I usually put on that channel. So if you want to check out those channels, feel free to do so. And that's my normal life ? Okay? If you have time, check it out. So on the subject of police harassment, there's a lot of that going on. It's been going on in perpetuity. There's been and it's, when you have people that are only trained in military combat, style of, engaging the public, invariably they're going to screw up because that's all they know. They all they know is how to, some of them, the great majority of them have some compassion, but there's always a few, and I'm talking about a very few in most departments that actually are a bit, psychopaths. They basically don't care. They just, they just actually enjoy the process of arresting somebody. They've dreamed about it since junior high school, and when they were in the bottom third of their high school class, they say, "I'm going to become a police officer," and they became police officers. They went to the academy. They're big, strong, and they go, "Yeah, I'm going to do what I've always dreamt about, knock some heads, and play with guns and stuff like that." Some people are like that. I'm not like that. I'm an artsy fartsy liberal kind of guy. Okay, so I'm not that kind of guy. So I knew these people all growing up all my life. Okay. Here in Fort Worth, they had a meeting at one of these churches down the street here, and they had a gathering, and they talked about changes in the police department. That was about a year ago, 6 months ago. I don't remember. And they had various members of different parts of the city hall, city council, and they would in different departments would they say, "Hey, we're going to enact police reform in the city of Fort Worth. We have this gigantic, tremendous plan. We're going to change things in the city of Fort Worth. And we're going to have a police review board and blah, 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 blah." Then after listening to them, I said, I'm going to talk to the police department, see what they think about all this stuff. And of course, they had the contrary opinion, and they said, "Hey, we're not going to make any changes. We like it the way it is. The police department selects people for the review board, and that's that. We don't like community intervention into us. We're protecting them, and they should not complain so much. There's, if you give citizens the opportunity to review us and fire us and go into our records and, ask somebody to adjudicate this, process and take it to court, It's not good. We don't like that stuff. We like to have, power and, autonomy. And that's that. So one side said this, the other side that. That's what's going to happen with a lot of the stuff that's going to happen over the next few months in regards to George Floyd. There's going to be people with giving you a lot of lip service saying, hey, we support you 100%. We're going to try to see if we can support, get the police to calm down and, do this and do that and do this, do that. And then they bring it up to the chief of police, and the chief of police and the police union is going to say, no, that's not going to happen. Only in your wildest dreams that's going to happen. So that's why a lot of people are just saying, they just obliterate the police department, start from scratch, and get something that's more in tune with our society today. It's, okay. So what do you think? Do you think we should have something that's more in tune to our society and more contemporary? Or do you think everybody, all those people of color, those brown and black people, they're always causing problems? Must be inherent in their genes or something. I don't know. Something's wrong with them. We of the higher culture, the European culture, we don't have these issues. Oh yeah. Talk about World War I, World War II, the Crimean War. The list goes on. The war. They have quite a few wars, and of course, enslavement of Africans and thefts of indigenous lands. The original crime in the United States, some say it's slavery. I say the original crime in the United States was the genocide against the indigenous peoples. Tens of millions of indigenous peoples in the Americas were killed. And it was a planned process, a genocide against them. So slavery and the indigenous genocide, we got to work with groups. We just can't just do things the same old way. We got to change. We got to have a police review board that's made up of citizens, 100% by citizens, who can investigate a situation, suggest, some for minor things, they can just, that person called somebody the N-word. Hey, you're not going to be working for the next 3-4 months. You're not going to even be paid. So see you later. Or something else, or whatever standards they have, they may want to fire them for just saying that. Somebody gets bopped on the head, but no major damage, just knocked a little lump. Maybe you just say, hey, you're for that, you've done it 5 times. You're off the force. Or somebody calls actual body damage, permanent damage, or kill somebody, then you have to go send them to court. We suggest we gathered all this data from the police department records. Hopefully the police department actually shares data. That's another problem. Does the police department actually share their data? Hey, we're not going to share any data with you. We lost it all. So we're going to, and then you take it to court and you say this officer was negligent and has homicidal tendencies. He's not a very good person. Can we put him in jail for the rest of his life? Please. Over the years, I've dealt with police officers all my life, okay? My 2 daughters, married police officers, by the way. So my 2 daughters, married police officers. It's, the sheriff's deputies in Santa Clara County. Both my daughters, Estrella and Esperanza, both married sheriff deputies, okay? So, I understand a little bit of the dynamic going on there. Growing up in San Jose, California, one of my best friends, Larry Haller, his mother was worked in the cafeteria, and his father was the police captain for the San Jose Police. He was in charge of everybody who wore a blue uniform. He was in charge of that. So I always went down their house because I loved brownies. I still remember the taste of those San Jose High brownies. They were A+. I loved them. And I would go down there and his mom would have them all frozen because the extras they took home. And I would have a brownie and I'd go, man, that's tasty. And we'd hang out, we'd talk about stuff and technology and animals. And we'd go camping together. We went to like Lake Tahoe together, and they had a cabin in Lake Tahoe. Of course, my parents were farm workers, didn't have a cabin. So we went down there. They're very nice people. But the father, Captain Haller, was not necessarily in great esteem in the Chicano, African American, and general progressive community. He was not respected in those communities because of his activities, like doing some not so nice stuff. Okay. For example, let me give you an example. Back in I think it was 72 or 73, I was at a party in East Side San Jose, which is the Barrio, okay? And I was there for quinceañera, somebody's 15th birthday. They had a little celebration, a little barbecue inside the house. One of the idiots at the party parked their car, because there are idiots in every family and every group and every community, okay? Parked their car in the neighbor's driveway, and of course the neighbors called the police immediately. And of course at that time, the San Jose police always thought there was going to be an insurrection of Chicanos and black people, so they marched, actually, like in groups. Several rows of police officers marched down the street towards that quinceañera, breaking down the fences. I tried to get away. I went inside, and the girl that was having the quinceañera said, "Stop, officer, we're having a quinceañera. I'm sorry we parked the car in the..." Boom! The door came down right on top of her and injured her. Again, there was this... a lot of these officers were fresh from Vietnam, and they were, there's police department recruited Vietnam veterans. And of course, I'm just a lefty hippie who actually protested the war and got a college deferment and all that stuff. Even though for the lottery I got number 8, which meant I was supposed to go, but I didn't go. I got a college deferment. I got grandfathered in. I did that all myself, even though my parents said, "Go fight, Jesus. You can fight, just like your brothers." A lot of my brothers were in the military. So, I'm just checking the time. So, that's a terrible situation. Let's do it my way, that same intervention, okay? You have a social worker come to the house and say, "Hey, Mr. whatever your name is, Lopez, Gomez, Gonzalez, Martinez, whatever your name is, you're somebody from this party parked in the neighbor's driveway. Can you have it moved within the next 5 minutes, or I'll have somebody tow it away." And they'll take it. We'll have it towed away. "Oh, okay. We don't want the car towed away. So instead of breaking down the house, you could have the car towed away, and they pay, impound fees and, another fine, etc., etc., instead of just breaking down somebody's door and invading out." And that should work, because these people, this family I was with, aren't, members of the mafia. They're not a member of some, notorious gang. They're the regular folks, hardworking folks who had a party, a quinceañera. And so that's the way I would have done it. And if they said, "Oh, go screw you, we don't care," and they pointed a gun at you, then you say, "Oh, okay, sorry." And then you call in the troops, the sociopaths, okay? Then you bring those crazy cops in. But, most cops, again, are very, very decent, hardworking people. They will never get fired because they're decent and they're smart. They go, "Maybe I shouldn't put my knee on somebody's neck like George Floyd, and for almost 9 minutes, and for 3 minutes when he's totally unconscious, stop his breathing." Especially when he said, "I can't breathe." What do you think? Do you think that cop is okay? It's okay for him to do something like that? Do you personally believe, well, he's dealing with those minorities and they're animals. They're total animals. And I've heard this many, many a time. From every ethnic group, they always complain about somebody else's group being animals. We have got to treat ourselves like human beings. I understand there's some animals in our group. If every group has a little bit of a crazy person, they should go in jail. But they should not be killed. Okay? You just lock them up. But don't kill them. Don't be judge and the jury and, for this poor individual, George Floyd, okay? I feel really bad for people like that. I feel very, very, very bad. So what time is it? How many minutes I got left? I got 3 minutes. So I got 3 minutes, and I'll just talk for another 3 minutes. Again, I've had a lot of experience dealing with the police over the years. Final story. Driving while brown. One of my friends, I always forget his name. Every day I forget his name. Martinez and my friend Tony and myself were driving in my Mercedes back in 75. We're driving from Silicon Valley to San Antonio to go to a artsy-fartsy event. We're a bunch of skinny, artsy-fartsy guys. No guns. No drugs. No nothing. We're just artsy-fartsy guys going. So I'm driving down the road, and I think I'm in Texas somewhere, East Texas, and all of a sudden, I'm stuck in my gear because I had a stick shift. I'm stuck in gear. So I said, so I just jam it into neutral. I said, we're coming close to an off-ramp, and I see a sign for a gas station. I just jam it into neutral, and I glide in this podunk little town into the gas station. And I say, I'm going to go to the restroom. I have to go, take care of business in the bathroom. About five minutes later, I'm out of the bathroom, and I'm coming out, and my friends are going, hey, Jesus, be careful. Why? Look. And I said, what? I had shotguns poised at my head. Apparently, they thought I was a criminal. They assumed I was a criminal. They thought this artsy-fartsy Chicano was a criminal. They thought my friends were criminals, okay? You just can't make that first assumption. If it was just a white middle-class family just doing that, and, it would be no problem, okay? But apparently, driving while brown or black can be quite deadly. You can have there's some deadly consequences and some negative experiences that can occur. And it's not good, okay? So we're going to end this talk by me. Sad that nobody actually commented. On my other channels, they probably would have commented, but I don't have any commentary on those two of my channels. Maybe I should do it on my third one, but it's also very small, very small. My normal life only has like 20 subscribers, and RVTA has 225, and JMM Garza has 2,300. That's my big channel. But we talk about photography and video in the channel, so I thought I'd talk about it on this channel. I gave it a try. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below the description here. And you can always go to my website and write this down, jmmgarza.com, and check out my photographs, my bio, my vitae, and right there is also my email, and also my even my phone number. If you're nice and friendly, give me a call. Just don't, I look forward to hearing from you. From Fort Worth, Texas, this has been Jesus Manuel Mena Garza. Gracias. Adios. Bye-bye.